Welcome back, you gluttons for punishment. This is the Combat College, where we offer a world-class education to all warriors all the time. I'm your instructor, Cody Chilson, and today's lesson will be that makes sense. Last lesson was stance. Looks like it's time to start putting that stance into motion. Today, we're going to learn one of the highest forms of footwork. Three-dimensional footwork. Now, this is considered to be a high level of footwork because it allows you to travel multiple directions and altitudes all at the same time. Because you're doing three things at once, instead of three things at different individual times, mathematically, that means that you can triple your speed and efficiency. Now, in order to understand how to do this footwork, we're going to need to learn the laws of physics as well. You're going to come to find in time that in order to bend the laws of physics, you must first understand the laws of physics. Here at the Combat College, we tend to teach the physics and science of a technique. This removes people's opinion of an art form and replaces it with something you can't argue with. Science. Because after all, you can't be smarter than the laws of science. Yeah, but you guys, you can't hit as hard as we can. The hell we can't? My move hits harder because your moves are so big and obnoxious that they're never going to land. When I throw my punches, I put my whole body into it. So do I. Who'd have thought? Looks like in shorter distances, you do hit harder. Yeah, but it looks like when your strikes actually do land, they have more power overall. Now, before we learn three-dimensional footwork, we have to know what these dimensions are and train them individually so they can build on top of one another. Because if you mess one dimension up, the preceding ones will not work right.
First dimension.
Now, what constitutes something being one-dimensional? In physics, there are three dimensions of space. The first dimension is a straight line. In martial arts, one-dimensional footwork is usually called linear footwork. This type of footwork is very predominant in hard styles like karate and taekwondo, where you see a lot of line drills and linear movements. These styles emphasize holding your ground and moving the opponent away using hard-style mechanics. Now, our basic footwork is a step and drag. This allows you to move completely guarded and keep centerline control when facing the opponent. The coil on the back foot propels the lead leg to step forward, and the rear foot drags into position, thus step and drag. Now, the shape that we're going to use to practice one-dimensional footwork is the cross. This shape will train you to move forward, back, left, and right. Examples of one-dimensional footwork combinations would be forward, forward, back, back, left, left, or right, right. Now, a couple of things to remember, guys. First off, when moving, keep your stance intact. Don't allow your hands to come down. Don't allow yourself to step so wide or long that you compromise your balance. Also, a common mistake when stepping sideways is to cross your feet. If you cross your feet, you're going to trip and fall over if you're struck by an opponent. When you have one-dimensional footwork down, practice freestyle while moving in these directions to the best of your ability. Once you can manage one-dimensional on to
second dimension.
two-dimensional footwork. Physics defines the second dimension as a straight line with a change in direction. Now we're going to train ourselves to take our footwork and change direction on the fly at will. Examples of this would be footwork combinations like forward, then left, or going right and then back. The shape we use to emphasize this is called the box shape. When you follow the box shape footwork structure, you are changing your direction from forward to sideways and from back to sideways, which traces the shape of a box or a square. It's important that you can move in any direction at any time to accommodate for a change in the opponent's lateral movements. It's also important to switch directions when practicing this footwork drill so that your muscle memory can adapt on both sides. When you're comfortable enough with your box footwork, begin to freestyle while keeping two-dimensional footwork intact. Confidently move in straight lines and change direction at will without losing your structure, it's time for three-dimensional footwork.
Third dimension.
What constitutes the third dimension? You must have a straight line, a change in direction, and then an elevation change all at the same time. Examples of this footwork combination would be things like forward high to right low, or back low to left high. This footwork is of the utmost importance.
Utmost importance.
It will allow you to close the gap between you and your opponent while simultaneously getting out of the way. Later, it will be the building block to teaching you how to trap while sparring. In order to start developing this footwork, we're going to use the box drill with an elevation change. The key to remember is in true three-dimensional footwork, the elevation change happens at the same time as the directional change. Common mistakes are changing elevation and then direction instead of those things at the same time. Once you feel comfortable changing altitudes and directions simultaneously, attempt to break it up and freestyle to the best of your current ability.